Welcome to week 2, Creating Healthful Goals. Slow is sustainable and sustainable is forever. When it comes to making any kind of long-term change to your habits, research shows that slow, incremental change, step by step, really pays off. So this week we're going to set goals for the program and start making small changes that over time will add up to pay off. It's important to know that there are no universal ratios or numbers that work for everyone. So you're going to work through your unique needs using a step-by-step process that we provide in order to set goals and that will work for you. Be sure during this process to use the guidelines as they're designed. You don't want to say, oh, well, that's a nice idea, but I'm going to eat only 1,200 calories a day, for example. You want to make sure that you use the guidelines so that you can create that slow, healthy, sustainable weight loss for yourself. With creating those healthy habits around calories, it's important to remember what your TDEE is and why it matters. That TDEE is your total daily energy expenditure. That is the combination of your base metabolic rate, which is the energy your body uses when you're just lying around all day, and your daily activities, sports, exercises, housework, things like that. For weight loss to be healthy and sustainable, it has to be slow. So you need to be taking into account what your TDEE is and eating an appropriate number of calories related to that. That means that with slow and steady, sustainable weight loss, no more than 1 pound per week or about 1% of your body weight on a weekly basis. If you're losing 4 or 5 pounds a week, whereas people typically think that's a point of pride, what they should really be saying is, wow, that's really damaging to my body. Because it is. You don't want to be losing dramatic amounts of weight every week. It feels good in the short term, but it's going to come back. So 1 pound or about 1% of your body weight on a weekly basis. The My Plate method is a tool that we provide for you to help you to make sure that as you're eating to your TDEE, or as you're eating to your goal rather, that you have a good tool to use to get enough variety in your diet. So using the image above, it's very simple. About half fruits and veggies on your plate, about a third grains, and about a quarter protein. A little bit of dairy or fats to add on to that. If you can use that visualization as you're eating, it really helps you to stay on track with making sure you have variety. In addition to what you eat, to making sure you're eating across the spectrum, getting a lot of variety, how you eat makes a difference. It is important to spread your calories out through the day so that you're not getting it all at one meal or another, that you eat your meals, don't skip meals, and that when you're eating, go ahead and eat slowly. Take your time so that your body can tell when it's actually full. Don't worry about cleaning your plate. When you're taking your time, you're going to possibly stop and realize that you're full before your plate is clean. That's absolutely fine. Nobody's mother is going to be looking over your shoulder telling you to clean that up. And finally, if you're eating in a stressful or rushed place, go ahead and change your eating environment so that you are in a space that is conducive to mindful eating. With moving into understanding serving sizes, as you work on getting enough servings in your day, one of the things that you'll be looking at are those serving sizes. So first, a vegetable serving is typically about the size of a baseball or 1 cup. A fruit serving is about the size of a tennis ball, a little bit smaller. 1 carb serving about the size of a hockey puck. A protein or dairy serving, that's going to be like a deck of cards. And a fat serving is 1 to 2 dice. Now this isn't universal across the board, but these are some good sort of guesstimates that you can use to make sure that you're getting the number of servings in that you think you are. Activity, as we all know, is very, very good for you. Not just on a weight loss program all the time. And it's not just the kind of activity that makes you sweat that's helpful. Activity makes you smarter, it makes you happier, makes you more successful. I know this sounds like it's promising a lot, but science has proven this. Activity also helps to relieve the symptoms of depression and anxiety. Helps you to create better sleeping habits, enhances self-esteem. And when it comes down to it, activity is just good. It is a good prospect. And there are 2 types of activity, like we covered last week, exercise and NEAT. That NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So as we look to setting goals this week, need to keep in mind to make realistic goals. First, that fast change doesn't work. Restriction makes you feel cheated out of life. Don't restrict. It's not sustainable forever, and we're trying to set up habits that are sustainable forever. And finally, don't start super gung-ho and burn yourself out. This is really, really common to try to be really super perfect at the beginning, and that just gets old. Finally, food. Food is a basic human pleasure, and enjoying it will not make you unhealthy. There is nothing wrong with, in fact, there's a lot right with enjoying food. So don't feel bad about that. It is a good thing. With your TDEE, I want to just acknowledge up front that for many people, working with your TDEE can be one of the hardest parts of the program because the number that you get is going to seem really high when you first look at it, when you learn how many calories your body's actually burning in a day. And that's because the diet industry has spent a lot of money for that number to look wrong. They've spent a lot of money trying to convince us to do unhealthy things that will make them money. The fact of the matter is a 1,200 calorie diet is not sustainable in the long term for almost any adult female. Let me say that one more time. A 1,200 calorie diet is not sustainable in the long term for almost any adult female. So the big question then, why have you heard your entire life that you should eat 1,200 calories to lose weight? The simple answer to that question is that the diet industry makes more money if you use unhealthy methods to lose weight, regain it then due to the issues that that causes, and then buy another program or product to once again lose weight. So they've spent millions of dollars marketing and getting people and even some doctors to believe that 1,200 calories is an appropriate number of calories for an adult when it simply is not. And the numbers show it. Basic science shows this to be fact. So why stay on the roller coaster of losing weight and gaining weight when your healthy habits will last for life? You don't ever have to do this again, but you have to do it right to get off that roller coaster. The number of calories that you need to eat in order to lose weight is going to be unique to each person. There's not one magic number. There's not one magic solution. Your lifestyle dictates what's going to be necessary for you. To lose weight is a fairly simple prospect, a fairly simple equation. You're going to calculate your TDEE, how many calories you burn in a day. You're going to create a slight deficit. So you're going to eat a little bit less than you burn every day. Less calories than you spend. And that little bit is going to be between 500 to 1,000 calories a day less than you burn. No more than that. You never have a deficit larger than 1,000 calories. It is very bad for your body. You don't want to get too obsessed with numbers. We're going to do a step-by-step process to go through this. And you can also average it out across a week. Sometimes you have a day that's a little bit higher, a day that's a little bit lower. By averaging across a week, things tend to even out for people. So there are two ways for you to set a healthy caloric goal. Option number one is to take your TDEE and subtract 500 calories for it. That becomes your new daily target goal, and it will typically support a weight loss of about 1 pound per week. Option number two is to calculate your TDEE for your weight right now, and then to also calculate, using the same amount of activity, the TDEE for your ideal weight, using the difference then between the two. So if the difference between the two is less than 1,000 calories per day, you can actually eat at the TDEE for your ideal weight. And then it's actually a little bit simpler because as you lose weight, then you just stay at that level. And once you get to your ideal weight, you'll already be at maintenance without having to change a single thing. But that only works, again, if the difference between the two is less than 1,000 calories per day. And you will see this on the worksheets that you're doing. So your caloric goal, it's not at all unusual to feel a little bit confused by all of this, even with the worksheets we've given you. So if you do have any confusion, please take advantage of your online support community. Your coach is here to help you in that portal. You've also got other people online who are doing the same thing. So please be sure to post your numbers up, post any questions that come up so that you feel completely comfortable about the goals you're setting for yourself. While we're on realistic goals, let's just don't try to go from couch potato to marathoner in 12 weeks. It's way too fast. You're going to burn yourself out. Experts recommend adding no more than 10% onto your activity each week so that you're not overdoing it or pushing too hard. That's no more than 10%. 10% isn't your starting point. It's your ending point. 10% week over week max activity change. So there are two types of activity goals that you'll be looking at in this program. There's the non-exercise activity that we've talked quite a bit about, and then there's the planned activities or exercises. And again, it's important to remember that small changes are going to add up to really big results without stress. So that is it. Week 2 completed. Now you have a lot of information that we didn't cover in the video, just more details and info inside your written module. And make sure that you go through that worksheet bit by bit in order to set your goals for yourself. Here's to you creating healthy habits 1 week at a time.